everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Alivia Brown and I am currently a fourth year undergraduate student at UCLA studying anthropology, and as you saw in the title, we are going to be breaking down common misconceptions about anthropology. Over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, I have definitely run into some of these misconceptions, whether that's talking to other students at my institution about anthropology, my family members, or honestly just online. There's so many of these everywhere, and I'm so excited to break them down and give you the real scoop about anthropology. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Okay, so this first one that we're going to be talking about is probably the biggest misconception that you'll hear about anywhere, and that is that anthropology is the study of dinosaurs, and this is not true at all. Anthropology itself literally means the study of human beings, and dinosaurs and humans are not the same thing. Now, anthropology itself is an incredibly broad field, and humans, there's obviously a lot to know. This could mean studying our culture, studying our language, studying our cellular biology, our archaeology, the things we've left behind in the archaeological record. I mean, anything that you can think of that's somewhat relevant to either you or our history falls in this realm of anthropology, and dinosaurs don't do that. Now, a little thing that I do want to throw in here is that archaeology is technically a subfield of anthropology. That's the relationship between those two things, and I do think that archaeology and paleontology, I'll put a little definition right here, get confused all the time, and so it's easy to conflate archaeology, anthropology, and paleontology, especially when you don't have a background in these topics. Now, the next misconception that I want to talk about is that anthropology is 100% travel related. Now, I think it's really easy to get lost in this stereotype that anthropologists travel to some part of the world to study a different culture, and that is what every single anthropological project looks like. But again, that is not the case. Now, let's say I am interested in doing some kind of anthropological project, but I don't actually have the funds to travel to a different culture around the world. There's actually a ton of things I could study within Los Angeles, which is where I'm living right now. I could talk to university students about their experiences with COVID-19, or I could also look at immigration patterns here in Los Angeles, and everything that I would want to know is at my fingertips. Something else that I think people forget all the time is this idea of digital media. So understanding the online culture and online presence that's evolved over the course of the 20th and 21st centuries. There's things that you post on Instagram that you would never post on Snapchat. There's things that you would watch on YouTube that you would never consider watching a movie of on Netflix. And there's also norms that get reinforced by social media. I mean, there's so many different things that you could dive into there that you could explore from your own home. All of this is to say, anthropology does not necessarily require travel, and you don't have to be studying a culture in some remote region around the world. You could study language, you could study archaeology, you could study culture, anything that you're interested in, truly from your own home. This next one really gets on my nerves sometimes, and as a university student, I run into it all the time, and that is that anthropology is easy. Now, when I tell people in my life that my major is anthropology, people tend to make this assumption that, oh, you have a really easy major, or you could get by with straight A's no problem because you're studying anthropology, when in reality, that's not the case at all. I like to think that some people are better at the social sciences and some people are better at STEM topics, whether this means that's what you're interested in or you generally just do better in one of the two things. And that means that if you were to place those people in like the opposite category, they probably wouldn't do as well. So someone that's really good at writing essays might not do amazing in a math class, or someone that's really great at math might not have the best time writing a 15-page paper. And I'm not saying this goes for everyone. That's too big of a generalization, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. But some things are easier for some people, and anthropology follows that same logic. Now, the most challenging thing I think about anthropology is nothing really is concrete. There's a subjective layer that gets intertwined with anthropology and anthropology research that I think is really challenging for some people because you never have a concrete answer. In math, 2 + 2 will always be 4, right? I'm hoping. If that's not true, then I don't know what's true. But in anthropology, when you're predicting something like human behavior, every single person is quite different. So to come to this one solid conclusion often just doesn't happen. And for these reasons, you really have to be a critical thinker. If you're writing an essay, you have to take that essay much deeper, take it much further, because in order to understand humans, these are the kinds of strategies and the kinds of techniques that you need to be able to use. I personally love the nature of anthropology and how you're forced to move beyond the surface. I think you gain so much from that perspective. And for these reasons, I think anthropology can be easy, but it can also be quite difficult for some people. The final misconception that I want to talk about today is that anthropology is fluffy, or that anthropology is not scientific. when in reality, anthropology is quite scientific. It's literally the scientific study of human beings. Even when you're studying something like linguistics or something like culture, there tends to be a very structured methodology that researchers are using to understand those people. So let's say you are traveling to a remote part of the world and want to understand a specific group of people. There's usually a certain research method that you would then be using, whether that's participant observation or a structured interview or whatever it is. There's these techniques and strategies that have a precedent for what you should be using when you explore these new people and these new regions and these new cultural ideas. Now, at the same time, I do want to mention that there's also something called biological anthropology, which is a subfield of anthropology. Now, any of my returning viewers, you guys know this already. I mean, I talk about it all the time because I personally am interested in biological anthropology more than anything. But biological anthropology and evolutionary biology are actually very similar fields. So at the same time that anthropology is exploring topics like culture and language, it's also exploring topics like human biology and human evolution, which is really important and often gets forgotten. Now, these are actually all of the misconceptions that I was able to compile today, but if you are an anthropology major, leave some more misconceptions down below because I just want everybody to learn from this video. And finally, I just want to ask you guys to leave your requests in the comment section down below. You guys know the requests are like my favorite things to film because I feel fulfilled in answering your guys' questions related to anthropology. It's part of why I do this, and I just get so excited when I get to talk to you guys about cool things, including video ideas, among other topics in the comment section down below. And I also just wanted to say thank you guys so much for the constant support on this channel. I cannot believe that there is 1.7K subscribers now on this channel. I mean, that's so many people that are interested in anthropology. So thank you so much for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, or honestly just viewing these videos. It means so much to me. And yes, okay, I think that's all. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday, and I will see you all next week. All right, you guys, bye.